This video will walk you through the steps to submit requests to have eligible non-participating students exempted from one or more statewide assessments. In some cases, students who do not participate in one or more statewide assessments may be exempted from the district's accountability calculation. These cases include certain medical exemptions such as medical emergencies, concussions, and serious illnesses. There are rare situations in which a student may be exempted outside of these medical exemptions. If the district believes a student may fall into this category, an exemption request can be entered and the OPI will determine whether or not the request is approved for exemption. The exemption requests are entered by the System Test Coordinator, or STC, of the district via the MontCAS application. As a reminder, the STC is the only person in the district with access to the MontCAS application. So we're going to move to the application for a live walkthrough. So STCs are going to log into the MontCAS application via the OPI Secure Portal. Once logged in, from the home page, you're going to select the Montana Comprehensive Assessment System icon. This will take you to the MontCAS application homepage, and from here you'll select Report Non-Participation under the After Testing heading, which you'll find here, or from the Data Entry drop-down at the top of the screen, enter Reasons for Non-Participation. On this next screen, typically your district will auto-populate, but if not, or if you are the STC for more than one district, you'll need to select the district for which you're entering the exemption, and then select the school the student is enrolled in. Exemption requests must be entered one at a time. You cannot submit a request for a group of students. I'm using a demo district for this demonstration, so we're not sharing any real student data. Once your district and school are selected, you'll see a table here at the top portion of the screen that will list any exemptions that you've already submitted for that particular school. If you have never submitted a non-participation request for the school, the screen will indicate that. So we're going to select the grade level. After you choose your school, you're going to select the grade level of your student and enter the SSID number. Please click blue box to ensure that you've entered the correct SSID number. If you have a typo or the student is not enrolled in the school you selected, the application will share that in the red text here. In this case, I've got a typo in my SSID number. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to check that blue box again, and it's going to give us the initials of the student as kind of a way for you to double check. So next you're going to select the reason for the exemption. Options include medical, residential treatment facility, and other. So I'm going to select each of these reasons one at a time and scroll down a little bit and help explain each reason. So medical is going to bring up the medical reasons section. You'll note here that approved medical exemptions are rare and unique situations in which a student is unable to participate in statewide assessments due to an incapacitating condition or emergency. Things like the flu, chickenpox, or similar illnesses do not qualify under medical exemption. The medical exemption reason can be a serious illness, or it can be a medical emergency. An illness would be one that is incapacitating. An emergency may include things like hospitalization due to an automobile accident or similar situations. Also on the medical reasons section, the STC will indicate if the district has documentation on file signed by a licensed medical provider indicating the student should not participate. If the district has on file documentation that the student and student's family have been involved in the decision and agree with the exemption request. And finally, it's going to ask if you have a copy of the completed Appendix C Medical Exemption MontCAS application reporting instructions on file. These might all be yes, they may all be no, or could be a combination of those buttons. The STC then enters information in the explanation box. In this box, STCs can enter information about the student's condition that will help the OPI make an informed decision on approval of the request. Note, you should not put student information in that box, only an explanation, and including as much information as possible to help OPI understand the reason for the request is very helpful. So let's scroll back up here and we'll look at residential treatment facility. That's going to bring up that section down here. If the STC selects this selection, we're wanting to know where the student's been admitted and whether the student was admitted as under acute care or residential care. Typically, acute care stays result in a short stay of 2 weeks or less, while residential care typically results in a much longer stay. The facilities that are listed on the screen here are all accredited with the OPI. So if a student is admitted under residential care, typically the facility becomes the responsible entity to test the student. If the student was admitted to a facility not listed, fill that in under other and just type the name of it in there. After selecting the appropriate selections here, again, add any information in that explanation box that could assist the OPI in making a reasonable decision about approving the request. And now we'll look at the other option. That's going to bring up the other reasons section. Other reasons include very unique situations in which a student may not be able to participate in statewide assessments. One of these other reasons includes a student who has suffered a concussion. Because of the specialized care required for concussions, they are often unable to participate. Districts should do their due diligence and ensure proper medical documentation is on file. The other option is simply other. SDCs can select this option for any other reason a student may not be able to participate in statewide assessments. An example of this might be that a student's parent passed away during the testing window, or the student's under a court order not to be on school grounds. While each of these reasons is unique, not all of them will be approved as participation exemptions. However, again, adding as much information about the reason in the explanation box is going to assist the OPI in making a reasonable decision about approving that request. So back up to the test details section here. Regardless of the reason that you select, this section is going to look the same. This is a section in which you will share the details of the assessment you are requesting the exemption for. First, you'll select the assessment itself. The assessments that populate here will be dependent on the grade level of the student you are entering the request for. You'll see that for this student, the ACT with writing doesn't appear, nor do either the Montana Science Assessment or the DLM Science, as this student is in grade 7. ACT is for grade 11 students, and the Science is for grade 5 and 8, alternate Science for 5, 8, and 11. If I were to select a grade 8 student instead, you will see those Science options populate in the assessment dropdown. So in this case, I'm going to request an exemption for a student for the ELA for MAST. They missed one testlet. This student also missed the Science assessment. So I'm going to start with MAST after I've selected the assessment and the content area, ELA. We're going to select the window. Let's say this was window 3, since we're also exempting Science. requesting science exemption, and then enter the name of the testlet or testlets that you are requesting the exemption for. Let's say this is the end of year literary testlet today. Once those are in there, as you see here, you cannot move forward without clicking Add Assessment. So you click Add Assessment, your exemption request pops up here. Now we said this student also missed science. So we're going to go down here, click Science, subject area, it's the only one possible, Add Assessment. So now we have both assessments in the box that we're requesting. Then you're just going to go ahead and complete your reason, add your information here. You'll see the student we just entered has populated into the table up above. Once submitted, you will receive an email confirming that we received your submission. And once the OPI has processed the request, you will receive another email informing you of the decision that was made on the exemption. This is the link for the MontCAS policies for participation in statewide assessments. This is the document that includes information around medical exemptions. Also, here are the links to those appendices I referred to during that walkthrough. If you have questions or need support, contact the OPI Assessment Unit at OPI Assessment Help Desk at mt.gov or call us at 844-867-2569.